Okay, so I've done a little bit more to it even. I changed this. And I kind of realized I maybe want to try to add more color to the page because I love color, and it's probably why I got into art in the first place, is because I like color so much. So I'm just going to grab this green and let's say I want to add it to my swatches so that I can quickly access it. If I just control click on this fill color, once I have this green box selected, I can add to swatches, and it'll bring it down here for me to quickly access. So one thing I can do to add in color on this otherwise white page is I can change these. So I will, those might be too light of a green, but we can double click on that and I can add maybe a little bit more blue, which is cyan. If I put more blue in it, and if I put a little bit of black in it, maybe like 10%, push OK. That'll make it a little bit darker so it's a little easier to see, and maybe this is the color I should be using, control add to swatch, for my green text. And you won't even notice the difference. I'm actually going to make it a little bit darker. You won't even notice the difference when you're looking at the brochure that it's actually not technically the same color as the other green. You won't even notice. But you'll think it's the same color, but it's not, because it's close enough to the color. But nobody's going to notice. So it's quite a bit darker, and it'll be a lot easier to read as text. So especially when you have text, you want to make sure that it pops off that white background or whatever background you have it on. So I just needed to make it a little bit darker. So adding a little bit of that cyan and black in to this mix. As you can see, I added quite a bit more cyan and quite a bit more black. And that's going to help it pop off that page better. So there we go. That's looking pretty good. Okay, and then one other thing I want to show you with text is Command F, and this is find. So this brings up find, and so we want to find any word spacing. So maybe like if you have double spaces in your text, you can go 1, 2 spaces, and then change to just 1 space, and then you can just do change all. And then I had 3 replacements made in my document. So at 3 places in this document, I had 2 spaces where there should have been probably 1. Because some people put 2 spaces after their periods. And so it's nice to go through and find those and change them to 1 space. So when you're done with that, push done. Yeah, and that'll help tighten it up a little bit too. Like this, sometimes it's just good to check and make sure that these are truly 1 space. I thought I saw one in here somewhere. That was actually like 4 spaces. No, maybe not anywhere. See, there was 2 there that I didn't pick up. That's kind of weird. Okay, well, let's maybe bring this up a little bit and just try and kind of even out these pages a little bit. I'm just adding more white space because white space really does look good with text. If you have it just solid text, that's why making your body text a little bit smaller, making the margins around the body text a little bit bigger, and making the leading a little bit wider can really help make your text look a lot more legible and just make it look better. So I'm going to align these 2. I push shift so I could get both of them selected at the same time. Align the edge. So that's looking pretty good. I could maybe start to add in images now. So maybe I'll get some hiking events. So I'm going to go to Facebook. Oh. So she actually emailed me some photos. Let's see. Okay, here's some Brewfest photos. So I don't know if I can tell just from the preview which ones are going to be the best to use. I'm kind of liking this one and this one because it shows the people and the tents. So maybe I'll just download that one. Maybe I'll download a couple. That one has some good ones of people. This one might be nice. That's pretty good. For some reason I'm downloading them twice, maybe. Okay, yeah. So I think I like those. This one of the kids playing is kind of nice, but that'll work for our Havertrail Trails Summer Brewfest. So let me grab a box, and I'm just going to drag a box in where I want to put this, which will be right next to Havertrail Summer Brewfest. I want it to be big enough where you can see it, and I want it to line up with the text. And it has a stroke on it, which is fine. I'm going to take that off, but at least it helps you to see and me to see where that box is for now. So if I have that selected and I do a file place, I can actually bring in those images that I downloaded. I'm going to make this a list so I can see my most recent. I have my list set to date. So if you click on date added, it'll bring everything that's most recent up to the top in list mode. And that's the easiest, fastest way of getting your photos. So that's going to be a really big image inside of a really little box. So if I grab my white arrow tool and click on that, you can see how big that image is around my box I actually drew. So let's push shift and we'll just grab it by the corners and size it down inside of that box that we brought in. I don't know if this is my favorite photo. It's okay. Let's see. We'll try a different one here. File place. Yeah, I can't remember which one I brought in. There's a shortcut command too that you can use is Shift Option Command E. So I'll Command Z that again. So it's Shift Option Command E, and that'll bring it down to size. And it is a really fast way of making it a good size for you to use. We probably want to size this as big as we can get it because it's a pretty little box on our page, and we want people to be able to tell, somewhat be able to tell what's going on in this photo. I mean, obviously they're going to have this brochure like right up to their face, but we still want to try and crop it in a way that they understand that image. So let's take off this box now that we have it in there. So it's pretty good. We could maybe lengthen it a little bit. I don't know how much image I actually have to work with here, but maybe I'll just bring in, there's actually a lot to work with up here. Maybe I'll just bring in like that much. Show off some of the trees in that park. It kind of has nice trees. So let's select that and we will do, we'll have to go into Window, type in tables, and then there's text wrap. They might have moved it on me. Oh, here it is. It's just out on its own, text wrap. So we want to work with a text wrap now. We're going to open this up and we're going to just push this button, wrap around bounding box. So we're going to have the text wrap around this box. And as you can see on this one side, it's really close. Like that looks like crap. So we're going to have to add a little bit of a border there to keep that text further away from the edge of the photo. What you can do here, you just have to unclick this link so that it's not all linked together. And then this is that side, the right offset of that box. I'm going to click that a few times, just see what looks good. I think that looks pretty good, because this space and this space and this space are actually looking pretty even, which is a pretty good way to go about doing it. I could potentially put several images in of the Brewfest, since I have a couple different images and it's kind of a big deal. We want people to be interested in this event, so I'll just copy and paste this, and I'll just delete this, and then I'll do Command D or File Place. Command D is the shortcut. I don't know if this is the same image, but I don't think it is. And then we can do Shift Option Command E. Oh, it's that one photo again. Okay. This kind of shows the crowd size, which is not bad. Okay. And it has these two people talking in the corner, so I'm going to try and line up the top of this box with this paragraph. There's a couple of paragraphs here. So that's looking pretty good. I could potentially, like, if I wanted to mix up the flow of the images and text, I mean, I could just move this over to this side, making sure that this lines up with the edge of the text, and then I could bring out the bounding box on that side instead and actually just get rid of it on this side. Not like it really affects it at that stage, but that can also kind of help to offset the text in a different way. I'm not saying, I don't love that. I actually kind of like it the other way, so I'm just going to Command Z until I get it back to where I had it before. But I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm just going to keep on bringing in images. And I will start up the video after I've done that. Okay, so I've added a little bit more to this because I was feeling like I was getting a little constrained with just like the little boxes of photos. I kind of wanted to have some photos in more larger sizes that were going off of the edge of the page, maybe not just always being contained in a little box. So I added in this photo, I just dragged in a box, and then I just grabbed it like this, and you can actually change, when you get this little arrow tool, you can change the rotation on the box. And I'm making sure that my bleed line is all filled in with this image, because it needs to go all the way to that image. And then I added in a white box over this, so if I delete that, you can see where the edge of this photo is. But I added that white box in, and then I just made sure that this was Object, Arrange, Bring to Front, so that that's on top of that white box there. And I can even Command L to lock that down. Okay, and then I brought in these mountains to kind of finish off that photo as another decorative touch, because we've been, like I said, you really want to try and have some sort of continuing design that kind of spans the whole expanse of your brochure. If you can somehow find a couple different things other than font and colors, a couple graphics that you can kind of use to continue throughout your design. So I think I'm just going to continue with this kind of angular picture, but I'm going to angle it down this way next time, and then kind of angle it this way, and I'm going to change the angle of this to match it. So there'll be kind of a zigzag type pattern when I'm done. So I'll show you that when I'm done with that.